Where is the them section? Oh my god, this book is thick. She pretty too. Okay, there we go. Hi you guys, my name is Natalie and this is Nat'sNook. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're not, I'm glad to have you back for another video. This past summer I have done a lot of reading. I bought a lot of books that still need to be read. And I have added more books to my Amazon cart and beyond. But the book that I'm going to be talking about today that you saw in the thumbnail before you decided to click this video to watch will be a self-help / self-care book that I purchased this summer because summer 19 just was not it for me at all. And I'm pretty sure there are a number of other people that can vouch and say that this summer it wasn't it. Like a lot of us really thought this summer was going to be like summer 16 or summer 2012, even though we thought the world was going to end that year. But you know, we really thought this was going to be like another one of those like memorable summers. But for me and a number of other people, it wasn't. The earlier part of this summer, most of me felt detached and dejected from people, from family, from friends, from significant others, even from myself. And I was just wondering what was causing me to be so distant, what was causing me to want to just be so isolated from everything and everyone. And I was like, I can't continue to let this affect me so that I can somehow enjoy the rest of my summer. Like, I can't explain why I was just so gloomy for weeks. I can't really grasp why I just did not want to be socially active. I didn't want to be around those to participate in conversation and activities and all of that. I just wanted to be alone. Some would say it was because, you know, Mercury retrograde or whatever. I do believe that had something to do with it, but this was like one of the most terrible phases I've ever been in as far as me communicating. I do have my moments where I don't like people. I feel like everyone has those moments. I have my moments where I do like my seclusion. I like me time all the time, but like those first few weeks of this summer was just so like horrifically lonely. And I'm not a lonely individual. I like being alone. I like me time. I'm content with that. I don't really need to be around those. I don't need to be around a number of people to make me feel like I'm something, or to make me feel like I need the attention. I need like the bodies around me. No, I'm not one of those type of people. But earlier this summer, it was on a whole another level of me being alone and happy with myself. I literally took the time to search on Amazon, to search on Instagram, to search on Twitter, any type of self-help, self-care book that I could find to help me kind of grasp what was really going on mentally and emotionally. I've never gone to literature before for self-help, and social media isn't really the best option to go to as far as, you know, trying to figure out what could possibly be stirring up in you that can be making you feel some type of ways, or making you feel, you know, that everyone is against you or that you're the problem. It's you, not them. I came across this book by an author named Chidera, and the title of it is What a Time to Be Alone. The title grabbed my attention, and of course the colors of the book grabbed my attention as well. But what I was really focusing on, what I really wanted to grab my attention the most, was the messages that I would get from this book to help me understand why I was feeling the way I was feeling, help me get through this phase of these feelings, and to help me realize that it's okay to be alone, but to a certain extent. It's okay to want to be around those, but to a certain extent, you need to figure out who you should be around, who's healthy for you, who's not healthy for you, if you're healthy for other individuals as well. And I felt like certain points, a lot of points, definitely helped me come to a lot of realizations. Now, a lot of what I read in the book, I'm sure I've heard before, or I've read it somewhere else before, but me actually taking the time to sit down, read, and digest those key points helped significantly than any other ways of me retaining this information. The book was published just last year, 2018. A lot of people, not a lot of people, but only a few people that I know about this book, have read this book, and when they found out that I was reading it, they were like, "About time, sis, like, where have you been?"
Living under a rock, obviously.
And they said that it's one of the best books that they've read as far as self-help and coming to terms with relationships, platonic, romantic, and even coming to terms with relationships within yourself. The book is separated into 3 parts, and I hadn't realized, I bought this book back in June. I hadn't realized that I had actually read all 3 parts throughout the entire summer until I had finished the book the earlier part of this month, August. So I read the first part in June, I read the second part in July, and I just finished the 3rd part this month. So the first part is you. It's all about evaluating your self-worth, taking your time to heal, and knowing how to handle yourself better in this messy world. The second part in the book is them. It's less about you and more about the ways other people can become dangerous if we don't know how to avoid their demons, but also about understanding that everybody is protecting themselves from something, no matter how aggressive their method is. Lastly, the 3rd part is us. Us allows you to understand how to avoid Us allows you to understand how to avoid toxicity, shows ways to grow and sustain productive relationships, and lists the healthiest ways to end relationships which no longer feel fruitful. It's time we learn to find security in our solitude. Thankfully, it's never too late to find safety in yourself. Are you ready to meet yourself? This gave me a lot of clarity when it came to learning more about who I am, learning more about how I treat individuals that are near and dearest to me, how I treat innocent strangers that I don't know, people that I don't know, how I treat those who I once used to know, and where we stand. During the earlier part of this year, I did take a minute to think about my relationships and my ties with my friends and those closest to me, and how, yes, we outgrow people. We do. We mature faster than certain individuals, and we even go on different paths of life. And so it's not, it doesn't hurt to end friendships. It doesn't hurt to end relationships, because you never know when you may need that person again, when the right time may be to rekindle that relationship, if it's right to, you know. I've let people go. I've gained new people in my life. I have revisited past relations that I had no business doing. And this summer, and reading this book, I was really able to reflect on the motives behind it. What were the pros and cons of me bringing this individual back into my life? Or what were the pros or cons of me bringing these new individuals into my life? How would I affect them? How would they affect me? Etc, etc, etc. Chidera, she really made some, and I mean like key to the T key points in her book, where I just felt like at one point she was attacking me, but I felt like that because I was realizing that it's the truth. Truth hurts, secrets kill. And it's like you want to get the best out of things. You want to not have to beat around the bush. You don't want to have to front or put up a lie when it comes to things. So facing the truth is better than not being in denial or placing lies on top of things just to cover up the fact that deep down inside you know that this is not it. You know that you're wrong. You know that this is not it. You know this person shouldn't be around you. You know that their aura is bad. So what do you gain from it? How? Why? History means nothing. Longevity, that's a thing. But it should be a thing with the right person, with the right people, with the right team, with the right support system. And she talks about you and the people that who you used to be, who you are now, and how you should be, or who you should be in the near or far future. She talks about those that are there for you but aren't there for you. How they're just there to just be, just to know it all, to know you for what you have, to know you just to know your business, to know you just so they can just know someone else besides themselves, because in reality they don't want to face themselves, so they'd rather just cover it up, mask it with someone else. She talks about us and how we just have to face the music. She spills so much truth. It takes time to get used to getting out of old habits. It takes time to mourn the losses of people, not physically, but emotionally losing someone, and then losing the time that you have with them. It takes time to put that last period on the written past without wanting to continue on to the next sentence. It takes time to really sit and wonder, am I good for you? Are you good for me? Are we good for us? I'm gonna just read a few of the key points in each section that I put like a little sticky tab on. You see I have a few. I tried to like color code each section, but I realized that I was running out of like specific colors, so they kind of just mixed. Yeah. Starting with the you section. She makes a point in this section where it says, nobody who truly loves their self allows themselves to project negativity onto another human being. It's just as simple as that. You can't say, oh, I love myself, but yet you're treating the person next to you like they're nothing. As if they're worthless, but yet you love yourself. I want to check that. She talks about love a lot, and that's something that I love to read about, whether it's nonfiction or fiction. And in this sense, it's definitely a nonfiction. It's real. Love is as real as it can ever be. And she makes a statement that says, love never seeks permission. Love just turns up unannounced, and if you fail to welcome it with warm arms and an open heart, prepare yourself for a lesson from the greatest teacher of all, regret. I'm sure we've all been at a stage where it's like, oh, I regret dating this person, or I regret loving this person, but you know, it's what we wanted at that time. Nonetheless, but it's the way we go about loving them, and it's the way we go about being in a relationship with them that makes us have this feeling of regret. Vulnerability is another key thing she touches on in the section U. This page says, to care is to be vulnerable. According to the world, it's not cool to be vulnerable. It's cool to be stoic, aloof, and unconcerned because to emotionally inept people, this shows resilience, strength of character, and the oh so admirable quality of being eternally unbothered. Unbothered is to be dead inside. These are the people who invest all their energy into performing instead of living, but it is not your place to save them. The millennials and the people of my generation, I believe I'm Generation Z, I hope I'm right, fact check. We have this thing where we let pride get in the way of our feelings. We let pride take over. We create this wall that barricades us letting another individual in emotionally. Mentally, we say whatever we think, but we never express or say how we really feel. It takes time, and I mean, like, it can take years before we get to that stage where it's like, okay, I'm tired of having my feet in. I want to like go full body and swim, you know? And vulnerability is, you're human. Being vulnerable is not weakness. Being vulnerable is actually a strength, because you're able to take that wall down when you need to. You're able to open yourself when it's necessary. So you won't have to always have this 24/7 guard up. In the them section, she talks about how we need to learn to say no more than we say yes. How the people in our past need to stay there, and how we just need to continue walking that straight path onward. This part of on a page says, tell people you're drained so that they stop using your mind to alleviate themselves of their own responsibility for their own poor decisions. You can't have peace if you're overthinking other people's choices. If they care, they'd be careful. Certain people just don't deserve to know you like that, which is true. You can't let people continuously pour onto you their baggage. They're airing their dirty laundry onto you, expecting you to help them clean it. Doesn't work like that. Back to vulnerability, she talks about individuals and how some can portray themselves as being emotionally unavailable. I've experienced that with individuals, and it's like, why bother? Why bother wanting to be connected to me, tied to me, knowing that you can't even be on the same emotional wavelength as me? You can't put out what I'm putting out. She says vulnerable people are easy to control. When it comes to emotionally available people and someone who's vulnerable enough to actually express how they feel, then yes, vulnerable people can be easy to control. Especially if you're a manipulator and you know that you are one. An emotionally unavailable person can never truly value you. They are only around you because they value the validation you give them. They are scared of their own feelings. That's why they are never able to properly interact with yours either. They either dismiss them or dilute them. They often associate loving with losing. Now, this next part I'm going to read, I am this type of person. Unrequited love is a thing, and I've experienced it. Not saying that I was in love with them, but loving them and them not loving me. It was just like, okay, sis, we need to get it together. It's the most draining thing to be fond of someone who is only fond of you when they're bored. If you're not ready to be committed to someone, whether it be a friendship, whether it be a romantic relationship, whatever, do not go looking for that type of relationship if you're only doing it out of boredom. That's wasting your time, that's wasting that person's time, and that's creating a tie between two people that doesn't really mean much of anything on one end. That's toxic behavior. Don't do it. Now, with the last part, us, it was a few great pointers that she made, and they may be like mantras for me. Before I even get to this last section though, I remember from one section I had tweeted a few of her quotes and I mentioned her, and she retweeted it and liked it, and then like I just got so many more retweets and likes after that. I was like, oh my god, I got a tweet that went like semi viral. It wasn't much, but I wasn't the only one that could relate to it, and I wasn't the only one that read her book, so I felt like, okay, there are other people out there. With us, she talks about how wanting to be loved makes us wholesome, alive, and in touch with our emotions. In a generation of false self-sufficiency, quick bounce backs, and hidden feelings, wanting to simply be loved is normal. If you have the right means behind it, and if you are going about it in the non-toxic and non-manipulative and just pure intentions, like in that type of manner. He talks about self-identity and how we should find comfort in our identity instead of seeking safety in other people's. We should lower our expectations of others and raise our expectations of ourselves. It hurts to get your hopes up high when it comes to other people. And of course, the whole message of this book, being alone. This last point she makes is that I really like resonated with, and I really thought was like, this is like 100% the truth. You've got to teach yourself to feel secure in your solitude. Occupy yourself with your goals. The more you love yourself, the better the decisions that you make. Irrational decisions can later come back to bite you in the butt, and you never really know what the consequences can be after you made that decision just off the whim, based on how you were feeling that exact moment, not really caring about the outcome, because if it was a bad decision, you know the outcome could be 10 times worse. On Goodreads, I gave this book a 5-star rating. I will probably change it to a 4 or 4.5, simply because, like I said, most of the information in here are things that I've read before, or that have been told to me before, taught to me. And because I'm at an age where it's like I'm kind of, I'm not starting out maturing. I've kind of like already started maturing. It was a simple read. It wasn't something that I had to actually like sit and like try to like fully comprehend. It was easy for me to understand. But I definitely give the author props for the colors, the design, and everything, and the illustration, the artwork in here, the quotes and all in here are amazing, and separating them into 3 parts to get an overall understanding was great. And it's funny because recently I just heard that she's coming out with another book, and I'm really excited. I forgot the name of the book. I'll insert it. I'm really excited for that book. It will be coming out, I believe, in 2020, so next year, and best believe I will be purchasing that book. I will be reading that book like I read this, annotating it like I did this, and I'll be doing a review, because I wasn't disappointed with this book, and I know for a fact I won't be disappointed with the next, by Chidera, aka The Slum Flower. Well, that's all for this video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it. Leave a comment down below if you read the book, or if you're interested in reading it due to my book review on it. And make sure you subscribe to my channel because there's going to be more content coming your way. So you don't want to miss out, because if you do, then you might have to catch up. It's going to be a lot of catching up. I guess I'll see you in the nook next time. Bye, guys.